So the Mindmajix is one of the platform where a lot of people has been trained in this consultancy. Okay, so here they are going to support the training on the corporate training, and that's they will give the support on online platform also. So almost they are giving the training for all over the technologies like in the development side as well as the testing and database side. Okay, so almost 500 of courses they are giving the online training as well as the corporate training. So they will provide the online support also. So if you the online support, if they have any support in the IT side, so they will provide the online support. Okay, so it's like they will give the job support and job assistance also. So this is about the Mindmajix. Okay, so come to this the main area which I work here. I work in this area like in Selenium IDE, RC, and then I work in WebDriver, and I now everyone know the QTP. The QTP has been changed to now UFT, and I'm certified trainer. So I did some certifications in the STQB certifications also, and so have experience in the models also like Agile model and Scrum models. I work in the models also, and then here I use the frameworks in Selenium, like I know about the Cucumber framework. So these are the main area which I work in IT sector. Okay, so before going to this webinar, just I want to explain about what do you mean by testing, and what about the automation testing, why we are going with automation testing, and why the more demand for Selenium nowadays. Okay, as everyone know, like Selenium is now it's a popular tool compared with other automation testing tools. If you go for other tools like QTP, UFT, uh, no, little bit less compared with the Selenium. Lot of job opportunities will be there in the automation testing side if you go with the Selenium. And one more thing here, testing is the main area the where the people can learn very easily. The people those who are from non-IT background, if you go for non-IT background, and those who don't have the programming knowledge, they can learn the testing very easily compared with other technologies. If you go for development side, the little bit coding will be there, so it's bit hard to learn this one. So testing is life is forever, the life will be there, so they can learn the testing concepts very easily compared with the other technologies. And one more thing here, lot of job opportunities will be there if you are going with the testing side. Why? Because every companies they need a tester. Now, if you're working in a small company or a big company, they need a testers. They need to test the projects. Okay, so testing growth will be there. Testing the growth will be there compared with the other technologies. Okay, so they need a testers. So whether you are working as a manual tester or whether you are working as an automation tester, so that is opportunities will be more in the testing side. Okay, so first of all, just I want to show you the what is the webinar content. So what you are going to learn in this webinar. So first we'll go with the what is manual testing, and what are the drawbacks, like limitations of the manual testing, and why the people that are going into the automation testing side. So is there any drawbacks in the manual testing part? And we'll discuss about the Selenium history, and what is Selenium, so why we need to use the Selenium. And we'll discuss about the Selenium suite tool, and then we'll cover what are the versions which is there in Selenium, what do you mean by Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, and the Selenium WebDriver, Selenium Grid, and Selenium advantage as well as the disadvantage. So this all these things we are going to discuss in this webinar. Okay, so first of all, what is the testing? So what the work we are going to do in automation testing side, like in as well as in the manual testing side. Suppose if you're working as a tester, so what the work you are going to do now in the software side, how the area of work will be. Suppose if you're working in a software company, the software companies they are going to develop the projects. Okay, they're going to develop the products also. Okay, so suppose if I am working as a developer, now I develop one module. Now what I need to do, I need to test that module. Okay, whether that module is working as per client requirement or not. That one I need to check it. So here we are checking the functionality of the each and every module. So why we need to do the why we need to test the functionality? To ensure that whether that particular module is working as per client requirement. So how you are going to ensure whether that particular module is working as per client requirement? By doing testing only. So we need to do the testing on this one. Without testing, I cannot test the I cannot ensure that that functionality is working as per client requirements. So we'll get the requirements from the client side. Based on the requirements, the developers, they're going to develop the projects and they're going to develop the products. And what are the projects and products which the developer they're developing? We need to perform the testing on the projects. So we need to ensure whether the project is working as per client requirement. So why we are doing the testing here? To find the defects. To find the defects. So in testing, we have two categories. One is the manual testing and the second one is the automation testing. So what do you mean by manual testing here? Testing the application functionality manually without using any software. We don't use any automation tool to perform the manual testing. Okay, so while doing manual testing, we can easily find out the defects. We can easily find out the defects. Okay, and how you are going to find the defects here? In the testing side, we are going to create the test cases. So we need to identify the scenarios and we need to do the testing on that particular functionality. Now let us take, I will show you one example. If you are working as a manual tester. Now I have one application. So just I want to go with this application. Okay. Now in this application, now I want to do the testing. Like I asked to do the testing on this module. Now what you are going to do if you are working as a tester, so first of all, you need to test this functionality. So what testing you are going to do? Manual testing. Suppose I asked to do the manual testing. So as a manual tester, you're going to test this functionality manually by entering the data. You will enter the data, test data. So here I will enter the username and I'm going to enter the password like this manually without, I'm not using any software. Okay. I will enter valid credential and I'm going to verify whether we are logging into this page or not, whether we are logged in successfully into this page or not. Yes, now it's accepting the valid data. My application is working as per client requirement. And also we are going to perform the logout functionality. If I click on the logout button, whether it's redirect back to the login page or not. So like this, we are going to test each and every module functionality. We are going to test each and every module functionality so that we can say manual testing. So we are checking the functionality of each and every module. Okay, so here we are going to test with valid as well as invalid data. Okay, so here I will test with this one, and also you can see it here. So you will see the different modules here. Now you need to perform the functionality of this modules also, like search and research, add and delete. So as a manual tester, what you are going to do? So you will click on add button functionality and you will enter the data like a add user role. You will enter the employee name, username like this. So this is a part of doing the testing in manual. Okay, but if you're working as a manual tester, there is some drawbacks. So what is the drawback of using manual testing? Now, as a manual testing, more time taking process. Okay, it will take more time compared with automation testing. Okay, so manual testing requires more time, more resources, sometimes both time and resources. So we need more resources to do the manual testing. And the second one here, less accuracy. So That means your accuracy means, now let us take, you created some test cases. So you can't say that my application is 99% is accuracy. The quality is 99% is quality is good. We can't say. Less accuracy will be there. And can we do performance testing in manual part? No. Performance testing means, now I want to check the application functionality like a performance, whether stress testing, load testing. So all this types of testing, can I do it in manually? No, I cannot do it. So performance testing is impossible in manual part. Okay. And now can we do database testing as in manually? No. So can you compare the large amount of data in manually? So how much data is accepting, storage, like storage testing, database testing? No, we can't do that part also in manual part. Okay. And next one here, batch testing. Batch testing means if I want to execute multiple test cases at the same time. Okay, so it will take time taking. So we can say time taking process. It will take more time if I want to do the like batch testing. So that is also not possible in manual part. And if you want to test like a GUI, like color combinations, what is the object size, so graphical user interface, so this is not possible in the manual testing part. Okay, so like if you want to test the same functionality again and again, can I do it in the manual testing? No, that is also not possible. Okay, like a repetition of the test cases, if you want to execute the same test cases again and again, can I do it? I can do it, but one thing here, time taking process, it will take more time. Instead of doing manual part, it's better to go with the automation testing side. Okay, so there is a lot of drawbacks we have in manual testing. To overcome this drawback, so most of the clients, they are preferring automation testing. So we are going with automation testing. So what is mean by automation testing here? In automation testing, here also you're going to create the test cases. As a manual tester, they will write the test cases. If you are working as an automation tester also, you will write the test cases. But what is the differences between the manual part and automation testing side? In automation testing side, what you're going to do, you are going to create the test scripts. Okay, so what are the test cases you created, you will convert the test cases into the test scripts. That one you're going to be automate, you will automate. Okay, so let us take one example. I will show you one sim. So what scenario you're going to automate? Now there is an add button. Now you are seeing, no, so this is an add button. Okay, now what I'm asking to do, test the functionality of this add button with multiple users, with multiple users data, like valid as well as invalid. Okay, now if you are doing manual testing, what it will happen? Time consuming, it will take more time. Okay, so what I will do, I will create the test cases. Instead of executing these test cases manually, I will convert these test cases into test script. I'm going to execute the test cases into test script, so that we can say automation testing. Okay, so what type of testing you're going to be automated here? We'll automate like regression testing, retesting, sanity testing. So different types of testing we can automate by using automation tool. So if I use automation tool, there is an advantage is there. Less resources we need, we can take less resources and we can save the time, and performance will be good, and we can do the work very fast. So a lot of advantage is there by using automation tool. So regression testing we can do it, and we can also rapid feedback to the developers. We can give the feedback to the developers, and virtual unlimited iteration of the test cases execution. Like here you can say we can execute the test cases maximum coverage, we can do it here. Okay, And the next one here is customize the defects reporting. Now we can report the defects. What are the defects which we are getting? This all these things like for the reporting also, reporting the defects also, we are going to use like tools like ALM, some automation tools, test management tools. We are going to use it. So there is a lot of advantages there by using an automation tool. Okay. So in automation testing, so what is the life cycle of automation testing? Suppose if you are working as an automation tester, what is the life cycle? So in automation testing life cycle, so first of all, we'll study the requirement. System study. System study means analyze the requirement. Analyze the requirement. Analyze the client requirement. After analyzing, they're going to update the test plan document. Okay. So in the like scope testing, in scope, yeah, entry criteria, QA deliverable. So this all this informations will be there in the test plan document. Okay. After test plan, we'll create the test cases, like automation test cases we are going to create. And after that, we'll create the test scripts, like converting the test cases into test script. And we are going to execute the script execution part we'll do. And we are going to analyze the report, like analyzing the result. Okay, so we are going to analyze the result for manual testing, test cases, as well as we are going to analyze the result of what are the scripts which you created, whether how many scripts has been passed and what is a failed. And then we are going to send the report, like a defect report. Okay, defect reporting process which we are going to do it. Okay, so this is a life cycle of automation testing. So what are the phases we will going to do? Test planning, generating the basic test script, enhancing the script, and then we are going to run and debugging the script, analyze the test result, and then we are going to report the defects to the concerned developer. So this is the life cycle of the automation testing. Okay, but if you're working as a manual testing, what is your life cycle? There also you're going to analyze the requirement. Okay, so you will prepare test scenarios. You are into the test cases manually without using any software, and you will find the defects. Okay, and then you will send the defects to the developer. So the difference here is, for all the test cases we cannot execute manually. So what we'll do, we'll identify the test cases. What are the test cases to be automated? Only that test cases we are going to convert into test script. So like what test cases? Like regression testing, retesting, smoke testing, sanity testing. This type of test cases we are going to be automate. So this is about the life cycle of the automation testing. Okay, so what tools are there? Now you are using automation testing. Now what tools are there in the market? In the market, so many tools are there. Like UFT is there, Selenium is there, rational functional tester, silk tester. Lot of tools are there in the market, but nowadays the most popular tool here is Selenium. So most of the clients, they are using Selenium is the tool. So why more demand? So first of all, Selenium is an open source tool. Everyone is using. Now come to this Selenium tool. The tool was introduced by Jason, and in the year 2004. In 2004, the Selenium tool they introduced. Okay, so the Selenium, it's built in core Java. That means JavaScript. JavaScripts they use it, and we can also support the applications like Python, C Sharp, Ruby, Perl. All these languages it's going to be support. Okay, and then later in 2006 at Google, the Selenium WebDriver was launched by the company Google. Okay, In 2004, they released Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, and Selenium Grid. In 2006, the Selenium WebDriver was launched by the company Google, and his name is Simon. This guy is released this Selenium WebDriver, and then in 2008, they merged the Selenium WebDriver with Selenium tool. They merged Selenium WebDriver with Selenium tools. So what are the tools like here? Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. So these are the tools they introduced in 2008. Okay, and one thing here, ID tool they merged with some browsers like here they are using some browsers. It's going to be supports like Firefox, Chrome, IE browsers, all these browsers. It's going to be supported. So these are the tools they are developed. Okay, now first of all, what is the Selenium? So come to this Selenium. Selenium is an open source tool. What do you mean by open source? It's a free of cost. You no need to buy the license to use the Selenium tool. So you can automate your scripts. Okay, you can download the software, the jar files related to the Selenium, and you can automate the test scripts. So what scripts you can automate here? You can automate the test scripts like web-based application scripts you can automate, and also it's going to be supports like mobile. Okay, mobile testing you can do it, web services testing you can do it, but it won't support GUI applications. So by using Selenium, I cannot automate the applications like Windows based applications. So these things I cannot automate. Okay, and the Selenium it supports all the browsers, like it's going to be support the Firefox, Chrome, IE. It's going to be supports the operating systems also like Windows, Linux, Unix, Solaris. All these browsers operating systems, it's going to be supported by the Selenium tool. Okay, and one more thing here, come in the Selenium is an advantage here is performance. Compared with the other tools, the performance is good in Selenium. Okay, so and also some tools it does not some browsers, but it does not support some browser, but Selenium supports most of the browsers. It's going to be supported by the Selenium. So where I can do the cross browser testing very easily with the help of Selenium tool. Okay, now what are the tools are there here in Selenium world? Total we have 4 tools like Selenium IDE, Selenium RC. RC means it's remote control, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid. Okay, so these are the tools, 4 tools which we have, and nowadays Selenium RC is outdated. No one using an RC tool. Okay, so most of the people they are using IDE tool, and they are using WebDriver, and they are using Selenium Grid, but RC tool is outdated. So only the RC tool where I can use it for maintenance project. Only for maintenance project they are preferring an RC tool. But most of the people now, the clients, they are preferring WebDriver. Okay, so first of all, which tool to use here? Okay, so here we are using IDE tool, and also the clients they are using Selenium WebDriver and Selenium Grid. Okay, suppose if we are using an IDE tool is used for only for creating the scripts in using recording option. If I use recording option in IDE tool, the tool itself it's generating the test script. So that is an added advantage of using Selenium IDE tool. Now some companies they don't use IDE tool. Why? Because I will tell you there is a lot of drawbacks which we have in IDE tool. So to overcome this drawback, they are preferring Selenium WebDriver. So by using Selenium WebDriver, I can perform the testings like regression testing. I can automate, retesting process I can automate, and vanity testing. So this all these things, the types of testing I can do it by using the WebDriver. Okay, so only these three tools they're going to use it, like ID2 and WebDriver, and then they're going to use Selenium Grid. So first of all, what is an ID tool? What do you mean by ID? Integrated Development Environment, you can say. So if you want to create any test scripts in ID tool, so ID tool, it is plugged in with only two browsers. It's like an add-ons with Firefox and Chrome browsers. Okay, it is plugged in with only two browsers. Now let us take, I want to create the script for login panel. Now there is one option will be there in ID tool. So this is a recording option. Now you can see it now here in the screenshot. Now this is a red color dot sign which you are seeing now. It's a recording button. Okay. Now if you click on that recording button, what are the operations which you are doing on the application? The tool itself, it will generate the test script. You no need to write the code here. Okay. So once you click on the recording option, that automatically the tool itself, it will generate the test script. Okay, so that is an added advantage of using Selenium IDE tool. Okay, now you can say, okay, it's an advantage. No, we no need to write, the tool itself it's generating, but it's generating, but lot of drawbacks is there with the help of ID tool. So what is the drawback of using ID tool here? The main drawback here is Selenium IDE supports only Firefox. Now the latest version, it's supporting Chrome also. It's supporting Firefox and only Chrome. Now, if I want to test my application functionality in IE browser, in Internet Explorer, can I do it? No, I cannot do it because it supports only which browsers? Firefox and Chrome only. So can we do the cross-browser testing? If I want to test my application functionality on different browsers, can I do it? No, I cannot do it. Okay. And also, can I implement the programming logic? Now I want to put some logic. I want to write some programming. Can I write it? No, I cannot write that. I cannot implement coding part in ID tool. And if I want to read the data from external file, suppose I have some test data in Excel sheet. Can I do it? No, I cannot do it. Now, if I want to do the database testing, if I want to perform the database testing, can I do the database testing? No, I cannot do it. Now, if I'm getting an alert like pop-up window errors, during runtime I'm getting some errors like pop-up window errors, application crash errors. Can I handle that such type of errors using ID tool? No, I cannot handle. So there is a lot of drawbacks which we have in ID tool. To overcome this drawback, the client, they are preferring Selenium WebDriver. They are preferring Selenium WebDriver. Only there is one feature, that is recording option in ID tool. It will generate the script, but what are the script which you are creating? It cannot perform cross-browser testing. We can't do cross-browser testing. We cannot do the database testing. I cannot implement the programming logic. I cannot read the data from external file. So there is a drawbacks we have. So most of the clients, they are preferring the WebDriver, Selenium WebDriver. Okay, but Selenium RC is also one of the tool where I can automate the test script. I can do the testing on web-based application, and it also supports various programming languages, Selenium RC tool. Okay, like here it supports Java language, C#, Python, Perl, Ruby, HTML, all these programming languages which it support. But what is the comparison between Selenium RC and Selenium WebDriver, the only comparison here is, here we are using RC server. What is the comparison here? In Selenium RC, suppose this is you and this is a browser. Okay, you are testing the application. Between application and the browser, there will be a server, Selenium RC server. Okay, but if you are going with the WebDriver tool, you can directly automate your scripts in the browser. So there is a no server connection will not be there in the WebDriver. So with that one, WebDriver is faster than RC2, faster in execution. So WebDriver is faster in execution compared with the RC2. So that's why most of the clients, they are preferring the WebDriver. So they stop releasing. Now, if you look at in the Google Pay, if you search in a Google, you will not see any RC tools. Okay, so they will give only the WebDriver. WebDriver is the tool which everyone is using now. Okay, what is an advantage of using Selenium WebDriver? Selenium WebDriver is better than ID2 and RC tool. So with the help of Selenium WebDriver, I can automate the test cases. I can do cross-browser testing. I can perform database testing. I can also I can implement programming logic also. Like I can write the Java code. I can write the Python scripting, C# coding, I can do it. And also Ruby, Perl, HTML, all these programming languages, it's going to be supported by the WebDriver tool. And it's also support all the browsers, Safari, Opera, Firefox, Chrome, IE browsers, all these browsers, it's going to be supported by the WebDriver tool. Okay, so this is comes under the advantage of using the WebDriver compared with the ID tool. Okay, so here WebDriver here, it's very popular tool where I can handle the errors also, expected, unexpected errors during runtime. If you get any errors, I can handle. And there is also one more tool is also there, that is Selenium Grid. Selenium Grid is the tool where I can use it for parallel test execution process. Suppose if you want to execute a particular script parallelly on different machines, different browsers, all at the same time, I can do it. I can implement by using Selenium Grid. So where I can use only for parallel execution. I can execute parallelly particular test cases on different machines and different browsers with the help of Selenium Grid. So what is an advantage of using Selenium here? The main advantage here is it's an open source tool, and also it supports multiple browsers, multiple operating systems, multiple languages it's going to be supports, and also where I can do the parallel test execution process, and where I can test the web-based applications. And we can also integrate the Selenium tool with other tools also. So these all comes under the advantage of using Selenium tool. And not only advantage, there is also drawbacks, as every tool have some drawbacks. So the main drawback here is bit programming skills. Suppose if you want to use any Selenium tool, the person should be some technical. Okay, and automates only browsers. Automates only browsers means I can automate my test scripts on the browsers only. Okay, without browsers, I cannot automate the test cases. That is one thing. And there is no built-in object repository. Object repository means if I want to store any objects information, there is no storage device. Okay, objects means suppose application objects means buttons, links, images. That objects information I cannot store it in the object repository. That is also one drawback. Okay, and one more drawback here is, now you create the script. Now I want to get the report, test report. Now detailed test report. The Selenium WebDriver, it will generate the detailed test report? No, it won't generate the detailed test report. So that is also comes under the drawback. And also all type of images I cannot test it, I cannot automate. Okay, image comparison, it's not possible in Selenium WebDriver. I cannot upload the file information. Suppose if you want to upload any complicated files, now there is one sign up page, I want to upload some files, so I cannot upload complicated files with the help of automation tool like Selenium. And capture images, now barcode, some barcode, so the barcode reader, some barcode reader is there, or some capture images is there. So this type of things cannot automate it with the help of Selenium tool. So these are all comes under the drawbacks, you can say disadvantage of using the Selenium tool. Okay, now here if you want to install, if you want to write any code in Selenium WebDriver, we need two softwares. One is the Eclipse, the Java software, and so where you can automate the Selenium WebDriver scripts, and you can create the Java code. Now if you are anyone is using C#, then Visual Studio, so this all these things, the softwares which we required if you want to write a code of the Selenium. Now let us look at, this is a sample code like this. We are going to create the scripts of automation scripts. So here this is an Eclipse tool, and here we are going to create the project, and under the project we'll create the packages, and we are going to create the Java classes. Okay, so this is a way of writing the code in Eclipse. So this Eclipse is also an open source tool. Again, you no need to buy the license. As everyone know, Java is also an open source tool. So you can install the Java software, and like this, we are going to write the code in Eclipse software. Okay, so this is a sample code for how to write the code related to the WebDriver. Okay, so that's it. So this is about the webinar. So one thing here, first of all, Selenium is the most important tool every client is using now. The WebDriver is one is the tool, popular tool. So but one thing here, if you want to learn any the tools like automation tool, the programming which is very important. Not only Selenium, if you are going with any tools like UFT, there also you write the code of Visual Basic Scripting language. You write VB script, okay? But if you're going with Selenium, depends on the client. Some clients will use Java, or some clients they will use Python. Some clients they will use C#. Now, if you go up working in Microsoft client location, they will ask you C# coding, some coding part. But 90% of the clients they use Selenium with Java only. They will use Java only. Like 10 to 50% of clients they will ask you C#. Why? Because why Java? Now just look at the Selenium history. So they developed the Java Selenium tool with the JavaScript, Java coding only. Okay, so 90% of the clients they will use Java only. Okay, so this is the webinar, and so just if you want to do any certifications, the Mindmajix people will help you in the Selenium certifications course also. Certifications in the manual testing as well as the automation testing tools, as well as in the Selenium also, right? Like ISTQB certifications. If you need any information, they will help you on this one also, and they will support in the real-time projects like so I will explain you the, it's going to be training. It's like a almost you want to enroll any training in Mindmajix, they will help you in the real-time projects also and all these things, okay, with a sample practical examples. Okay, yeah, thanks everyone for joining the webinar. Thank you for joining the webinar.